What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. It's Yaga, and how we all doing? You guys having a wonderful life? Hey, when people ask, like, are you having a good week? I'm like, how about a good day? I don't know. I guess everything's cool. So today on the No Nonsense live stream, I was going to talk about intelligence because there are very many forms of it. And I used to think, like, when I was a kid, nobody really told me, like, I thought I had to go to school, get a degree, get some kind of decent paying job, and that made me smart. What I didn't realize is you can be smart in a whole bunch of different areas of life. What's up, Aerospace? Welcome, my friend. Long time no see. So I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well today, because I got a fun topic to talk about, which is intelligence. Do we have intelligence? I think we're very smart. Human beings were very intelligent. I get back to my story of, I grew up thinking like, I got to get a job, got to do all this stuff. I got to be super smart at whatever it is I do, but I don't care. The older I get, the more I've realized that you can't measure intelligence by like the old school way, like I used to do when people were growing up, like, are you book smart or do you have common sense? And those are the only two things. Because I knew a lot of people that, great at their academics, aced everything, great test takers, all that shit, but are fucking dumb in the real world, in reality, and would just, how to boil a pot of water. And I'm not knocking people who, went to school and achieved all that great stuff. If you're good at academics, great. I was really good at memorizing stuff and then acing the test too, but that doesn't mean I learned anything. But that's a form of intelligence. Some people are really good at studying and taking tests, right? I never, unless I was interested in something, I never did a good job at paying attention. I always focused, I was always an entertainer at heart. Like, I was always daydreaming, writing short stories and shit like that. So I was always thinking of like crazy worlds outside of reality. I was always in fantasy land. Always. But, the people can be really book smart, and that's not bad. Then there's a lot of common sense, people who just know how to do daily life things, like, can change their own tire on a car. They don't need to call AAA because they have an issue. They can do it themselves. Do it yourself kind of people are very smart. But again, there's that thing where you have to have an honest conversation with yourself and be like, can I do this myself, or am I out of my league? Again, I've talked about like being an electrician. I have no desire to do anything electrical work at all. No, thank you. I'll leave that up to somebody who's been doing it for years, So and I'm not talking, there's a certain thing, like I'm not knocking people who are smart. I'm knocking the people who use their intelligence as a weapon, as they think they are superior to fellow man, Like, I went to medical school, so I know what I'm talking about. Those people, this is about you. Meaning, when people say shit like that, when they're like, I went to, I got my degree in such and such and blah, blah, blah. So that's, for some reason, I don't know why the delusion is that people think they're smarter than somebody else because they've achieved that. It's work. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you get your PhD or whatever, or you do go to medical school. I mean, if you are becoming like a fucking doctor or something, yeah, there's a lot of schooling in that. And I would hope so. That's, when you're cutting people open and taking blood, it's like, you should probably be pretty fucking good at that. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're more intelligent than somebody. You're valuable. Like, doctors and people who know how to mend a broken arm and can treat somebody when they're sick, they're valuable. Nurses, valuable people. So there's a difference between what you think is intelligence and actually people who bring value to society. People who go around and think, I got my master's degree and I make $170,000 a year. I'm so smart, I could tell you what to do. See, Don't let earning money bring you down and discourage you in life from people who do that, that feel like they're superior because they do. I used to let people do that to me. I used to hold people in such a pedestal to the point where it was making me miserable in anything that I did because I thought like, well, I'm not a banker, so I must be dumb. Yeah. Turns out I'm actually not. I'm a pretty smart fella. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. It's just that I remain teachable. And that's a way you can stay intelligent, folks. Remain teachable. The minute you think you can't learn something or you know everything, you're fucked. You're just fucked. And that's arrogance. That's true. That's true arrogance right there, is when you think you can't learn from somebody else because you got that degree or you went to medical school or you are the manager at a Starbucks. Different groups of people always have this weird, every group has like this hierarchy of things where somebody wants to become the leader. And I think by it all depends though. True leaders don't want power. They don't want the limelight. They don't want people look at them. They just want to do a good job and continue on with life and make sure everything gets done right. Those are intelligent people. They're valuable people. I know, is common sense better than book smart? I think there's way more variety of intelligence than those two things, because you can acquire more common sense the older you get by experience and actually going through life and doing stuff. You didn't know how to change a tire, you can learn. You can get under there, put a jack under that car, figure it out. It's not hard. It's scary because, like anything in life, if you've never done it before, there is a sense of fear in you. And that fear comes from, I'm not going to do it well. I'm not perfect at it. It's not my strong point, And that's why I've learned to not look at intelligence as just what people do for a living, all that kind of stuff, and what accolades they've acquired in life. I look at intelligent people. Are they willing to admit they're wrong? Are they willing to acknowledge some things that they could use, recognize their own weaknesses and work on them? Those, I believe, are highly intelligent people. The people that know their weaknesses and their strengths, but continue to keep learning and want to work. That's what intelligence, I think, is. True intelligence. It's not about achieving your fucking master's degree and so and making 6 figures a year. And I'm not saying that's not work. But if you think that's true intelligence because you've done that, then you have a right to tell other people like that their opinion shit based on what? See, that's only your experience. So think about this. If you got a master's degree, say in business, which is typical because nobody knows what they want to do. So you go to school for however many years, you get your fucking master's in business, you've done all the schooling, and then you get a job in business. So you can prepare so much and learn all the tools and tricks and trades, but until you've practiced it, you really fucking don't know what you're doing. You might have aced the test. Here's a prime example. A good friend of mine, he's worked for a major bank for a lot of years, manages them, and has been in several banks. And he told me a story about a kid who got his finance degree and fresh out of college, got a job at the bank in finance. And my friend didn't go to school for finance. He just got a job at a bank. He took the test to get there. And then he just learned from experience after working there because that's what he wanted to do because he had that drive. This fucking kid, fresh out of college with a finance degree, sits there and doesn't know like the basic shit that my friend's trying to explain to him that you need to do in certain situations at that bank. And the kid was like a deer in headlights, meaning all that fucking schooling and you don't know this basic thing, meaning school's great and all, but it's not going to teach you everything you need to know. Out in the world, the more you live and experience things, that's going to teach you things and that will enhance your own intelligence on life. I'm never going to be an amazing banker because it's just not something I put my energy towards. It's not. but I'm smart in a lot of areas. You know, I know a little bit about a lot of things. I can change a tire on a car. I could change the oil on a car. I used to wrench on cars in high school for fun. I had a kick-ass car for my first car, so I learned how to work on, you know, basic engines. Today's vehicles, I'm not so confident in that. You know, no, thank you. But if it's, you know, got a carburetor and an intake, I can help you out. So that's a piece of intelligence that I get to add. It's information that, when applied in a situation, I could use. So you can't look at intelligence on a form of like a linear line. It's just not. It's not. If you think, because, well, that person got their degree and they're making good money, how come I'm so stupid? Like, that's not you. And they're not smart if just because they got that. They are smart in the sense that they wanted something, they took the action to get it. See, there's a difference. It doesn't necessarily make them more intelligent, especially because you're making money. I have met people who make a lot of money that are fucking stupid, just dumb. You don't need to be smart to be rich. Actually, the smarter you are, I find that those people, the more intelligent they are, they're actually not that well off financially. But they are the most down to earth, can see stuff in a light that I've never seen, just honest people, right? It is all true. But I've also met people with money that don't use money as a form of intelligence, that are also, you know, the other end of the spectrum, that are really great, fucking down to earth, humble, honest, good to be around people that don't bullshit. And they're smart, you know, they're smart in business and stuff like that. And then I've met people that that have literally nothing, but have a way of looking at the world that is so incredibly intelligent that you'll never see these people, because that's all lies about, you need to go to school, get good grades, and be smart. I'm like, maybe at a point you did. But here's the great thing about the internet technology that I love today, is the fact you can teach yourself. And the best growth I found in my own life is to remain teachable at all times. I cannot get arrogant and think like I know all I need to know. I've learned all I need to learn. Like, no, here's the great thing, is it never ends. I want to keep learning and finding out new information. I'm fascinated with where other people come from, you know, what their truth is, what their story's from. How did they get to that point in their life? You know, I'm really interested in that today. Before, I was always just consumed with my own shit and money and things like that. And again, the love of money is evil. So if any of you guys are ever having that doubt, like, I'm not that smart because so-and-so bought a house and all this other shit, like, it's not that smart when you buy things you can't afford, go into credit card debt, and are spending the rest of your life paying it off. See, that's not intelligent, but people think that's how you have to do life. I've known plenty of people, student loan debt that they can't get rid of, that's crippling them, that's literally chains, actual slave chains, because they're in so much debt that's going to keep them working to get out of that debt, and you can't live in fear. So that's not very intelligent, right? It's not very intelligent to take out all these loans that when you get out of that job you can't pay back. I think it's more intelligent to follow that instinct in you and do what you want to do, that you have the drive and passion for in life, whatever that is. If you want to be a fucking gardener and learn how to plant seeds and grow your own food, fucking do it. And the way the world's going, it's not a bad idea. It's a beautiful day out today. It's kind of hot here now, and the chemtrails are lovely. So, and this boils down to, don't compare what somebody else does to your intelligence, because you can become a more intelligent individual just by learning. I have spent years on the fucking internet. 92 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be like 80 here. And yesterday it was 40. Oh, Georgia? Shit. The heat there. Man, I've been through Georgia once, and it was hot. It was really hot. See, I'm up here in good old Midwest Illinois, and we don't have seasons. It's summer or death. Take your pick. Today, I think it's going to be a lot more summer, but we'll see. Um, does that make me more intelligent? No, no, it doesn't. I I've just experienced a lot of life because I got out there. I used to take a lot of just risks and go, but it got me into situations that I've learned a lot about. It has made me smart in the sense of, what to do, what not to do, traps that I've learned from and all this. And nobody prepares you in this world for the kind of traps that are out there, like these financial traps and things like that, where you, you know, eh, I honestly feel like farming's the way to go. But that's for another day. So what else do I got here? Gain intelligence, remain teachable. Yes. I love this quote by Aristotle, which is, it's the mark of an educated man to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Meaning, you can entertain thoughts all day long, and that doesn't necessarily mean you accept it, Like, for example, the classic, like, well, if an asteroid was coming down to Earth and we all knew we were going to die, what would you do? That's how you entertain a thought. It's not happening, so you don't have to accept it, but it's kind of fun to think outside of reality sometimes and think, like, what would I really do? What do I value? It kind of puts into question things that are important. It's a good way to test your intelligence too. Like, are you going to go out in like the debauchery way, just like fuck things and like drink and do drugs until it happens? Or are you going to be like more accepting of it and be like, I think I'll just hang out with my family and enjoy things? Because there's a endless amount of ways to, talk or deal with a situation like that. And you never really know until you're in it. So you can entertain thoughts and not accept it too. And that's why I like having these discussions online, because a lot of people just aren't talking. They're just so emotionally charged from whatever's going on. Like, even just recently with all the abortion crap, it's like everybody just throwing it in there with their emotions, just all kinds of stuff. Maybe one day I'll talk about that and really give my thoughts about the whole thing. I haven't thought about it in depth enough to really form a live stream about it. But it's funny to me how people just let their emotions just run their lives. They get so engulfed in a belief or an idea, and they put all their chips in on that one idea, and they just fucking get so hell-bent on that belief. And what sucks is if something comes along and pulls the rug from underneath your feet and that belief is destroyed and people are too reliant on that, they literally don't know who they are after that. They crumble, they shatter. They've lost all purpose, I think abortion should be up to the women, but that's just me. Yeah. I won't touch it here because it's a subject that, I almost called the friend out on Facebook that I saw, but I stopped myself because you got to pick your battles in this world. And there's only so much life and energy to go around in your life. And it's up to you to decide how you want to spend that energy. Some people all day, every day, giving their opinions about this subject and their passions and their feelings and this and that and their thoughts. And that's great. And I choose mine. And this is a battle today I'll step down from because I can give an opinion on it. And maybe I will, but for another day. Like, this battle of intelligence is something that I've always thought about because I used to think like I'm not so smart, but then there's so much other stuff that I don't realize that I'm doing that other people tell me that I'm doing that go, God, how do you do all that stuff? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just being me. They're like, I don't have time for all these things. And I go, I don't know. I just follow my interests. I do the things in life that bring me joy. And it sounds simple, and it is. But from what I've learned, nobody's really doing that anymore. They're just getting on the internet, getting all fired up about weird shit. And I go, that's not reality. Reality is around you right now, wherever you're at in that moment. That's reality, whether it be at the grocery store, your job, whatever, family event. That's reality then and there. It's not as scary and crazy as people think. But again, the mind is crazy. To do a whole thing about the mind. It's so fucking powerful. Another Aristotle quote: teaching is the highest form of understanding. And I agree with that because I'm working with a fellow with some stuff that I'm well versed in. And as I'm giving all this information that's just coming out naturally, like, and we're discussing stuff, I'm learning more in the process. Like, and I understand stuff more. It becomes clearer the more I do it, the more I'm talking about it. And, you know, teachers in education systems used to be pivotal, respected roles. Now, I mean, public education is just fucking, it's ridiculous. I think I grew up in the tail end of public education, right when it was like, right when it was starting to be really ridiculous, but yet there were still enough old school teachers who valued the education and the learning and actually taking care of the student into whatever crap we have in public schools today, which is just, it's mostly young kids who are fresh out of college with their teaching degree. So they're kids teaching kids. Do you see the cycle, the weird, crazy shit about 22-year-old teaching kids that aren't that much younger? Children can teach children, I think, in that little sense of a group, like they figure shit out. Like when you were a kid, like, we're going to figure out how to build the fort. And like, just like any group of people, kids are kids, but they get together, they figure out how to get shit done. Adults get together, they figure out how to get shit done. You know, you find a couple like-minded people and some people that can help, and you get in a group and you get shit done. You know, communities, tribes, all that kind of shit. You find out who's good at what. Like, oh, John over there is good at building shit. He's going to be the carpenter. Billy knows how to work plumbs. He's going to be the plumber. You know, think about if it was the end of the world and, you know, how would you rebuild society? Would you be the lone wolf and just go out and kind of be a scavenger and survivor? Or would you try to commune with the surviving people and rebuild? I would think most people, it's nature to find people and rebuild, you know? And then again, it would start over. Who would do what? What's your role? What's your purpose? Me, I'm like the jester in life. I'm the clown. I am the comic relief. That's my purpose in this world. I have a good way of sensing other people's problems, and I am really good at entertaining others and letting them forget about their things. That's my gift. Okay. Everybody has a gift of what they're good at. Maybe you are good at carpentry and you can build a wall or build houses, or you're a plumber, electrician, a farmer. All these are necessary skills that provide value to everybody. Everybody. They're valuable. Instagram fucking likes and pictures are not valuable in a society where we need to grow food and get shit done. You know what I mean? In today's world, because we have technology and all this stuff, and we don't have to worry about food and all that, because everything's so manufactured, like farming and everything is so mechanicalized. Mechanicalized, is that a word? I don't know. Whatever. It's in such a process that it's like so self-sustaining that we almost, you don't even think about it. But if that were to all go away, like there were no cities, no trucks, no nothing to get food, and you had to go back to just, how am I going to eat today? You would band together with a group of people. You would figure out what each person's good at. That's their job. That's their purpose. Nobody would be depressed. Nobody would have anxiety. I think in a state where here's everything for free, I could whip out my phone, you know, and this literally is everything, you know. I can order stuff, call people, get in contact instantly. So it kind of takes away a lot of the old purposes in life, you know, like what are you good at, you know? That's why I accept my role as being an entertainer and a jester, you know? Like I'm just that guy. I'm just a goof, just a crazy son of a bitch. And I like it and I accept it and I just continue to do it. That's what I do. That's where I'm intelligent because not everybody can crack jokes. I mean, you can have a sense of humor and be funny. Not everybody's got that kind of wit. And I'm not fucking perfect either. I'm not like a stand-up comedian who gets on stage or doing any of that shit. I'm good at writing jokes and or just calling it out. I just observe life and call it out like I see it from my perspective. And I just report. So I am good at doing that. I'm also really good at seeing people's, like, when you are always honest in your own life, if you truly live honestly and don't bullshit people, it's so easy to see all the nonsense that's presented in this world as what should be acceptable or truth, that you can just blow right past it and be like, yeah, no, no, thank you. I don't need any of that nonsense. Thank you so much. And that's why I call it the no nonsense live stream, because there's no nonsense here. Teaching is the highest form of understanding. I'm inclined to agree. I've had a few mentors in my life that took me under their wing and taught me stuff. And for that, I'm forever grateful, because the things they taught me are just ways of looking at life that are more valuable than acquiring shit and nonsense stuff that when I die, it's not really going to matter how much I have. But people, like, it's about what you do in life. Keep it simple. Have a family, community, stuff like that. That's all purposeful. Everything in life's pretty subjective, I think, but there are objective realities and truths that you got to work towards. But then again, I don't know. See, the more I realize I learn and know, the less I actually do know. Like, I realize the less I know, because there's so much information, so much stuff in the world, so much that can be learned, so much that can be absorbed and contemplated and discussed and philosophized, and that it's overwhelming to some. And that's why ignorance is bliss is definitely the way most people live. They'd rather just get up, keep to themselves, go to work, watch their shows, binge watch Netflix, party once in a while, and that's it. But that's not sustainable, unfortunately. That has to come. That comes to an end when reality sets in. It doesn't make those people right or wrong, good or bad. I hate labels. I don't label stuff. Human beings have a tendency to label stuff right, wrong, good or bad, and it is what it is. And you can try to pick it apart with your head. Like, is it good? That's put that down. It is what it is. But it's the mark of an educated man to entertain a thought, and without accepting it. So I guess the main thing is to try to remain open-minded and teachable. But the good thing about and to get to open-minded, just be honest. You hear something and you don't want to do it, just be like, I don't want to do it. I have no desire to. Like, what I'm getting fascinated with lately is growing food. This thing that my folks have had a garden my whole fucking life, and it was there the whole time, and I had no desire or a willingness to learn or get it. Now I do. Like, that seems like it has more fulfilling purpose, because I've built stuff myself. I cook, I've cooked food, and there's some kind of initial feeling of fulfillment that you get from doing that shit. It fills whatever void, acquiring material possessions or job status or all that shit doesn't fill, and I tell you, when you do that for yourself, it's that hole that gets filled that was missing, is when you do stuff on your own merit and achieve things based on your work. Like, say you grow all your own food, right? And then you pick that food and then you make a meal out of it. That's pretty awesome. My folks have a garden, and they grow tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, all that shit, and potatoes. So you get those fresh veggies straight from the earth, right from your backyard. You bring it in, boom, you've got dinner. Get a chicken coop and you got yourself some chickens. I love that shit. But I understand the way the world's going is they're really trying to not have that anymore. Self-sustaining people. They want everybody in a little collective community with all the same houses and all the same big cities, and let's all just be robots and plug into the matrix. I go, I don't think so. I didn't take to that programming, and I won't, and I don't, True. It's fucking insane. Yes, it is. And so again, I'm aware that that's the pushing where society wants to go is towards all that AI bullshit nonsense. Let's all just live in the same colored community and be very Orwellian. And but human nature, we don't do that, man. We're different. It's like the birds, man. People, I love the people that, well, no, we're all the same. No, we're not. There was Muhammad Ali said it great. His analogy of birds was awesome. He's like, Blue Jays hang with Blue Jays, Cardinals hang with Cardinals. You don't see hawks hanging out with sparrows, but they're all birds. Apply that to humans. We're not all the same. We have similarities, of course, but there's predator humans and there's not predator humans, and there's everything in between. There's all kinds of shit. It's impossible to get us, I think, impossible to get us to a point of pure just Orwellian shit unless you give up all forms of your intelligence and your soul and you plug into the matrix and just say, you know what, I'd rather be in a machine than deal with life. And that's sad, but it's kind of true for some people. Me, no, I'm good. I kind of like just like enjoying nature and living off the land if I can. That's my goal right now. That's what I'm working towards. I want to be self-sustaining. Do I love technology and all this stuff? Of course. It's fun to get out here because this is why this age I find is great. The age of the internet in the last, 20 years, because here's information. Before, information was so hidden, but now it's so obvious. So now you just got to sift through the bullshit, know the truth, and carry on with life. And that's all. And there's all kinds of forms of intelligence, man. Don't ever think because somebody achieves something, and if those people are bragging about it, know that if they're bragging about it, they are not happy. They are very insecure, and they are scared because they keep chasing something that they're never going to get. And if you ever come across these people, just know in that moment, you don't have to worry. Those people are in their own version of their own hell. And you can carry on because you're aware that that shit doesn't matter. It doesn't. Good character, honesty, that matters. Honesty gets you trust. Trust gets you respect, all that stuff. And all that shit is more valuable than likes on Facebook, Instagram, any of the stupid bullshit. Any of the status power, or the social acceptance stuff. It's ridiculous. I value integrity of my own. And if I stand alone, so be it, But that's what I choose because I don't bullshit and I don't bend to something just because people want me to. I think for myself. Critical thinking, that's a form of intelligence too. I think for myself. I don't let the world make up my mind for me. I hear things, I absorb it, then I come up with my own decisions. But I definitely don't do stuff anymore because somebody else goes, you better do this or else you're this way. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You can't tell me what I am because you're not in my head. I am. And if you don't believe what comes out of my mouth, I don't know what to tell you. You're obviously out of your mind. And that's okay. Good luck to you. I'm going to keep on trucking forward. So don't ever get discouraged by other people's achievements when it comes to the material world because it's irrelevant. It really is. It doesn't matter. It does not matter at the end of the day how much people have achieved that way. I believe today we're kind of swinging the pendulum back where people are looking back at things that are always there. They're just ignored, like the purposeful values of family, community, and actually giving a shit about one another. Like genuinely. Not that fake concerned bullshit nonsense where people are like, I really hope you're okay. They don't care. I know who cares about me. And that's great. And, true intelligence, though, if I'm going to end on something, is knowing yourself and being honest with yourself and being very self-aware of what you can work on, your flaws, all your shitty things that need work, and then moving forward in it. So with that, I got a knock on the door. That gets my nephew. So I will see you all later next week at noon. I don't know what to talk about, but it's we'll figure it out because I don't think that far ahead because I'm in the now. So have a good afternoon, Aerospace. Pleasure to see you in this chat again. Thank you for always joining. I really do appreciate it. And even if it's just you and I talking, I do appreciate your time and hearing me on this stream. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and stay hydrated in your 92 degrees down there in Georgia. I love Georgia because I might be coming down there. So thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Next week, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you later.